Well, unfortunately, it's something we're used to. Obviously, it's supposed to be pretty cold this weekend. Footwear, I think these past two games especially have really gotten us ready for, I'm sure, the conditions we're going to face with the cold weather and I'm sure snow and moisture and all that. But, I think that's why we do such a good job of going outside, being a part of the element, so it's not such a shock. I know Chicago's in the same boat, so we'll both be equally as cold on Sunday.
Clay, sleeves or no sleeves?
I haven't worn sleeves, but today was pretty bad out there, and I think it was only 10 degrees, so I might buckle, especially if I'm just coming in every few plays. But we'll see how bad it is down there.
Oh, it's going to be bad, Clay Matthews. You know it, I know it, the American people know it. Certainly the hardy Midwesterners know it because it might be, they're saying, the coldest game in Bears history. Think of that. Monsters of the Midway and Butkus. This Sunday could be the coldest.
The two other games in consideration are both also against the Packers. There was a game in December of 2008 and then a game back in 1982. I don't know what it is about Bears and Packers. That great rivalry brings the frigid temperatures.
Well, let's talk about the Vegas impact of that one, Dylan, because when you talk about those temperatures, and again, the game time temperature is expected to be below 10 degrees, maybe not even to zero. It could be minus. If you're a bettor on this one, you see the Packers are now 5.5-point favorites. The over and under is 39 and a hook. What do you do there? How do you approach that game?
Typically in situations where the conditions are going to be a factor, you have to start looking at the under.
Yeah, why is that? And you're right. That's traditionally the way it goes. Even tonight, Seattle, cold game up there, Pacific Northwest, 24-3. Game goes under. They just seem to go that way.
Yeah, obviously anything that stands in the way as a hurdle between your offense working as efficiently as it normally would under perfect conditions, and then you look at the conditions we're going to be dealing with at Soldier Field right on Lake Michigan in Chicago this weekend, it's going to be tough to really get anything going with great rapidity. Get right up to the line, bam, another out route, slant route, cut you down the middle. Now, the funny part is some would say, but the defense is going to be just as cold. The footing, trying to get your hands up block passes, getting a pass rush might be a little tougher, but it always seems to have an effect on the offense who needs to be more exact, more detailed. Their timing needs to be perfect. There's a little more room for an error for a defense. This is a low over and under, especially considering
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers has been lights out.
Against the Bears defense.
Against the Bears defense. In December in general, cold weather. It's not like this is, the Jaguars or the Dolphins coming up to play at Soldier Field. This is another cold weather team who understands that playing in these conditions are tough and they're used to it. And Rodgers has been unbelievable in the last 3 weeks. He's gotten himself back in the MVP race, leads the league in touchdown passes all of a sudden. I just think some of that breaks up, and I like the under in this game. As far as the 5.5, it's a rivalry game. I still think Green Bay is going to wind up winning. They need this game.
Oh, boy.
They need this game. They're still tracking down the Lions. They have the Lions yet to go in the final couple weeks of their schedule. If they can get this one, then they can really start thinking about flipping the switch, flipping the script of the NFC North and trying to take down the Lions for division supremacy, and that's an inside track of the playoffs.
Fans in Kansas City are like, hey, don't forget about us. It's going to be damn cold here at Arrowhead as well. You see the conditions there, 6 degrees. You enjoy that. Wind, not really a factor as big as it looks like it's going to be in Chicago, but the over-under is 42. Kansas City, solid 5-point favorites over Marcus Mariota and company. What do you like here?
Yeah, I love the under in this game. Two big defenses. I mean, you think of the last game we spoke about with the Bears and the Packers. Neither defense is really that good. Both these defenses are very, very solid. Just look at the ugly game that Tennessee won recently against Denver, saying, look, we'll muck it up. We'll play some ugly football and still wind up beating you in a field goal fest. That's the other thing, too. How do you get to 42 points? Well, you need to capitalize on drives, and the drives that stall out in the red zone or near it, you got to get 3 points. With the conditions the way they are, wind swirling around, obviously the wind's not going to be as bad in this game as it will be in some of the other cold weather scenarios, but it's tough to make kicks, tough to make extra points. And when you start plucking those points away from drives, it's harder to get to 42. I tend to like Tennessee to either win this game outright or at least cover, even though the Chiefs have been great. I think it's just going to be played
when in doubt, take those points.
Yeah, I think it's going to be played within about a field goal. So I like Tennessee getting the 5 points. I certainly like the under on 40.